Want to open up the Whittier Vocational Technical High School School Board meeting, Wednesday, April 9th, 2:14. Gonna have you pledge allegiance. Tui.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Any public comment?
Mr. Chairman,
Approve the minutes.
I move the minutes of March 5th, 2014, budget workshop.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Tucker.
Mr. Chairman, I move the approval of the minutes of the regular school committee meeting on March 12th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Mr. Tucker.
Chairman, I move the minutes of the annual organizational meeting on April 7th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Mr. Chairman, in your package is the treasurer's report for March. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions on it? Yes.
Excuse me, on page 200, 6,000 fund capital account, wastewater treatment plant. We have this amount that is encumbered. Is that on the total budget for that project?
Yes. We believe that when the project is done, it will have 167 in there.
Surplus.
Nice.
That includes the contingency.
Yes.
So we're doing pretty good.
Yes.
At this
You're not
time.
done yet, but yes.
This time, with no,
Yeah.
No, just, thank you.
any other questions on the treasurer's report? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Old business, school committee evaluation.
I've turned mine in.
Now, how many are left to turn in? I believe there's 5 left. We're gonna hold that off one more month.
I have mine.
All right, we're gonna hold that off for a month. You can give it to us so she can evaluate them all.
6.
So,
Lisa,
yes.
any chance we could get that online? Can you send it to me, please?
I have some here, do you want it?
Yeah, give me another one then.
Yep.
Please.
Any other questions about it? Thank you. Student representative, April.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent DeRosa, and all other school committee members. The spring sports season has begun. The numbers of students participating in baseball, lacrosse, softball, and track and field are very high this year. The spring season looks promising for all teams. Student government is in the process of electing 2 students for the Northeast Regional Student Advisory Council for the 2014-2015 school year. The Interact Club participated in Whittier's Canned Food Drive for Our Neighbor's Table in Amesbury on March 22nd at Market Basket in Haverhill. At the end of April, they will help serve a meal at the Citizen Center in Haverhill. The Environmental Club is continuing with their daily recycling efforts. The Gay Straight Alliance was very involved with the Autism Awareness Day on April 2nd. They had a face painting booth during lunches where they painted the autism puzzle symbol on student faces. They also worked with the Peer-to-Peer Club by cutting out puzzle pieces for students to sign as their pledge to support and respect students with social disabilities. The Robotics Club competed in the Northeastern Regional Robotics Competitions at Matthews Arena at Northeastern University on March 28th and 29th. The Multicultural Club had a wonderful poetry session with Mr. Cameron, a Spanish teacher at Whittier, who volunteered to facilitate a breadloaf poetry workshop with the club. The members of the club said it was a treat to have a facilitator from the program to lead them in a very meaningful writing exercises. The club will be going on a field trip on April 15th to El Talar, a workshop in Lawrence that is committed to multicultural diversity, dialogue, art, and literacy. The Key Club has been extremely busy in the past month. They helped collect food on Saturday, March 22nd for the Fill a Bus campaign run by the Louise E. Mills Credit Union for Our Neighbor's Table in Amesbury. On March 29th, they hosted the second annual craft fair where there were 23 vendors and many shoppers. Food donations were collected at the door, were given to the Pentacle House in Salisbury. The Key Club helped the Salisbury Parks and Recreations Department with their annual Easter egg hunt. They also sold and collected the tickets and provided snacks during the intermission for the school play All Shook Up. Members continue to work individual hours throughout our district and beyond. This year, the members of Key Club have given over 1,000 hours of service to the community. The Peer-to-Peer Club held a Cancer Awareness Day at Whittier and raised money for their Relay for Life team. They also participated in the canned food drive for Our Neighbor's Table in Amesbury, collecting food for the hungry in the communities that support Whittier Tech. Peer-to-Peer participated in Autism Awareness Day on April 2nd. They will be helping out at the bowling rally that will be held on Friday, May 2nd. The National Technical Honor Society has begun creating and sending out invitations to possible new members and preparing for their annual induction in May. That's all I have for tonight.
Very nice.
Very nice. Any questions? Yes.
I don't have a question, but a comment on how proud I am of how many hours of public service our students do here at Whittier. It's very commendable. Proud of all of you.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you. Very good job.
Good job.
Skills USA.
Mr. Chairman, we have Mr. Palmer here with us tonight. He is the skills advisor, and he's going to talk about our past performance, for which we're really proud.
Okay, most of you know me. I've been here 10 years as the metal fab instructor. I've been lucky enough to be able to work with Skills USA for the last 5 years. Last year we took 143 students to districts. This year we took 163. Last year we had 41 medals. This year we took 52 medals. Last year at the end of the year we went to nationals with 8 students, and it's been my 3rd year going to nationals. So I've brought some of the students with me tonight to introduce themselves. If you guys could just come up and say your name, what shop you're in, and what competition you were in, and what you won for medals.
Hi, my name is Kyle Kroba. I'm from Haverhill, Massachusetts, and I won gold in computer programming.
Wow. Nice.
Hi, my name's Steven Sample. I'm in machine technology, and I won gold for precision machining technology.
Nice.
Hi guys, I'm Jack Reardon. I'm in CAD drafting. I'm from West Newbury, Massachusetts, and I won a silver medal in 3D animation or 3D visualization and animation.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Callie Mae Merrill, and I won gold in Health Knowledge Bowl, and I also competed at nationals last year.
Where are you from?
Raleigh, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Emil. I'm from Haverhill, Massachusetts, and I got a bronze medal in web design, and I'm the chapter president of our chapter here at Whittier.
Yes.
Well, my name is Thane Cumming, and I'm from Groveland, Massachusetts, and I'm in the metal fabrication program with Mr. Palmer, and I won silver in the welding competition on the district competition.
Very good.
Hi, my name is Nathan Cordero. I'm a junior in the CAD drafting program, and I'm from Haverhill, and I won a gold medal in the 3D visualization and animation.
Excellent.
Hi, my name's Hunter Conran. I'm a senior. I'm from Methuen. I'm in the early education program, and I won bronze in the early education. Thank you.
Wow.
My name is Alex Cordero. I'm in the CAD drafting program, and I won gold in the 3D visualization and animation.
Excellent. Excellent.
Hi, my name is Tori. I'm Tori Schultz from Methuen, Massachusetts, and I won gold in the Health Knowledge Bowl.
Hi, my name is William Pepe, and I competed in carpentry, and I won bronze, and I am from Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Hi, my name is Cody Richards. I won silver in HVAC, and I'm from Methuen, Massachusetts.
Good afternoon. I'm Dylan Byron from Haverhill, Mass, and I received the silver medal in industrial motor skills in electrical.
Excellent.
Mr. Palmer, want to have them all stand up here? Come on up.
Come on out.
Maybe we can ask you some questions.
It's a proud moment.
Very proud moment.
Makes me real proud. These guys did a hard work, and all of them have done a great job.
Do we have any questions or comments? Yes.
I'm not afraid to ask it. What is 3D in animation? Briefly.
Chris Schilling.
Don't get too technical.
Basically, it's a subcategory of CAD drafting, which is like architecture and hand drafting. It's basically like video game design in a way, and modeling and like making things move as far as characters and stuff go.
Wow.
Awesome.
Anything else?
No, that's,
Any other questions or comments?
Congratulations to
Very
all
good
of
job,
you.
guys.
The next competition is actually May 3rd, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Wow.
And then hopefully we get a lot of people going to that.
Where is that? Where is the next competition?
The state competition is held at the Best Western in the Assembly Hall there, what do they call it, the Conference Center, and then in Marlborough, Mass. And then we go to Blackstone Valley for the actual competition. So
Thank you.
How many will you take with you in this next one?
we have 60 students going. There's 38 students that were medal winners. They get to go, the gold and the silver medal winners get to go to states. And then there's a lot of other competitions which are like there's job skills and there's leadership, different competitions that the students get to go. They do not have to go to district competition to go to the state competition. So we're taking a total of 60 to the states for 3 days. So.
Excellent.
good luck. Good luck.
Wonderful,
Yeah,
thank
good luck.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Very good.
Definitely.
Mr. DeRosa.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, in front of you I have some personnel actions for informational purposes. The hiring of a route bus driver, hiring of staff for special education program improvement grant position, our spring coaches, and evening school. Tonight, in terms of a budget update, as you know, we had the public hearing tonight. I have sheets in front of me. We've gotten some dates from our community, so I'll circulate those around the table so that members of the committee know what nights their city and town meetings are as we have them right now. And that's really all I have for budget update. In terms of an MCAS update, Whittier had 13 students, juniors, take the biology MCAS retest in February. Of the 13, 9 successfully passed. In June, 4 sophomores will retake the exam. The other students will retake the exam in June. Whittier had 1 junior retake the math MCAS in March, and we should receive the results at the end of April. And we began a free MCAS math after school program for grade 10 on April 7, and that will run until May 12. In terms of my superintendent's update, on Thursday, March 13th, I attended the Pentucket Annual Bank Meeting at DeBurros in Haverhill. At that meeting, I was officially voted in as a corporator on the Board of Trustees. On Monday, March 17, 2014, I attended the Groveland Finance Committee meeting along with our business manager, Kara Cosmas. We provided an overview of the budget, enrollment figures, and assessments. On Thursday, March 20, I attended the Haverhill Rotary. On Friday, March 21st, I attended the North Shore Superintendent's Roundtable. It was a legislative luncheon. Senator Bruce Tarr was in attendance and talked about legislative issues that relate to education. Haley Klein, Chief of Staff for Senator Katie O'Connor-Ives, was also in attendance. On Monday, March 24th, I attended the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce Senators Breakfast at Salvatore's in Lawrence. In attendance was Senators Barry Feingold, Bruce Tarr, Elaine Donahue, and Kathleen O'Connor-Ives. Each senator presented information concerning the state of the Commonwealth. On Tuesday, March 25th, I attended the Massachusetts Board of Elementary and Secondary Education meeting at WhittierSC in Malden. The meeting was heavily attended by other vocational technical school superintendents. We were able to testify to the board concerning some regulatory changes that were presented by the commissioner. On March 27, I attended the Haverhill Rotary Luncheon. On March 31, I hosted John Mitchison, President of the Haverhill City Council, to review the Whittier budget with John for preparation for the city council. On Monday, March 31st, I hosted Tom Mortimer, President and CEO of Haverhill Bank. It was just an opportunity to thank Tom for all the work that Haverhill Bank does with us. As you know, they bought a table at our anniversary, and they also provide us with $2,000 in scholarships every year, for which we're very grateful. On Wednesday, April 2nd, I attended the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Expo Luncheon. Whittier had a booth at the expo, and I'd like to thank Beverly DeSalvo, our vocational technical coordinator, and Dave Cunningham for staffing the booth during the day. And on Thursday, April 3rd, we hosted the General Advisory Board meeting. It was an opportunity for school committee members and myself to meet with members of the chair of the Chapter 74 advisory programs. I'd like to thank Ms. True, Mr. Lavella, and Mr. Murphy for attending the meeting. After the board meeting, we had our general advisory dinner. The guest speaker was Sal Lapoli, and I'd like to thank Sal for taking his time to volunteer to be our guest speaker. And I also will mention that he will be our guest speaker for our graduation at the end of May. And that's it for my report, Mr. Chairman. Next, I have a field trip request. We have students who will have 2 overnights at the Skills USA competition in Marlborough. And as you know, in order to approve an overnight field trip, we need to have school committee approval.
Mr. Chairman, we approve the 3-day overnight for the Skills USA Mass Conference.
Don't we have to vote on it?
Yeah. Second.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Any questions or comments on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And I have just a couple of more things, Mr. Chairman, if I may, before the admissions update. I know that Mr. Murphy requested an update on the lighting. Harry is here tonight. Harry Tarkesian is here with us tonight to give us an update on the exterior lighting project.
Good evening, everybody. As most of you know, we did an outside lighting project to enhance the appearance of the outside as well as save energy on our utility bills. Working with National Grid, I approached them and they came in and assessed our usage on the outside lights and put together information on what kind of savings we could see. On a total project that would have cost about $70,000, we received almost a $25,000 rebate through National Grid to move forward with the project, which brought the project down to about $47,000. With the incentives and the estimated savings we could see every month, it brought a $70,000 project down to $20,000, which we were able to finance over 2 years on our utility bill with a monthly payment of about $800. Payback on the project is about 2.5 years, but with incentives we take in the building when we're replacing equipment with more energy efficient things like that, we figure we can get that to cut down almost in half. It's a good project. We went basically from all high pressure sodium light bulbs, which are very energy consumptious, and all changed everything over to LED lighting. We still have a few more light poles to get online. That due to the winter conditions, we had some breaks in the electrical underground wiring that we have to repair. But it was a good project. I think everything looks really nice. It really brightened up some of the walkways and some of the darker areas around the grounds. It was a good project.
Any questions or comments?
Just one. I asked a similar question at the beginning of the project. Is this what color lighting? Is this a white light?
It's a white
yellow
light. It's a white light.
The white light.
Yes. Right.
With the LEDs, we'll probably be replacing a lot less lights than previously.
Yeah, by going to the LEDs, we cut our annual maintenance cost by almost $2,000 between replacing light bulbs and ballasts.
Wow.
Yes, member.
All right, I'm just curious, they're allowing you to pay the balance back every month
Yes.
on a payment. Are they charging you interest?
No
as well
interest.
to do that?
No interest. Yep.
That's wonderful.
It's part of the incentive with, they want to get all the high energy usage things off the grid, to help decongest the grid. So any energy savings projects that are out there, some of the stuff they're practically giving away.
It sounds like you negotiated quite a deal. Congratulations.
Thank you. We would have had a monthly payment of almost $2,000, but with the energy savings, we cut it down to about $800.
That's wonderful.
Member True?
Oh, I just was wondering if there were plans for interior, or has that been addressed?
About 2010, we did a full building interior building lighting project.
Okay.
And that was a $600,000 project, which National Grid, they gave us 60% rebate on the project. And we basically went from a 32 watt system throughout the building to a 27 watt system. And yeah, these lightings as well.
These are LED?
These are fluorescent lights.
Oh, okay.
The LED, they haven't gotten too much into LEDs in interior of the building other than emergency lights and some of your entranceway lighting. But right now they're still pushing the fluorescents, but the lower wattage.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Very good job, thank you.
Thank you, Harry. Mr. Chairman, I received a letter from Christopher Farmer, Superintendent of Schools from the Triton Regional School District, notifying us that Joanna True has been reappointed, this time for a 3-year term, because as you know in the beginning it was to replace someone, and now it's a 3-year term. I also have a letter of thanks from our neighbors' table, thanking the Whittier students for their time and assistance in the recent food drive. And also, they were at volunteered at 3 local grocery stores. The last thing I have, Mr. Chairman, is a scholarship, a request for approval of a scholarship. We learned today that Eastern Bank is donating 2 $1,000 scholarships to benefit graduating seniors. I'd like to thank Laura Kurzak she's the executive director of the bank, with whom I communicated with Eastern Bank for these generous scholarships. So according to school committee policy, I need your permission to accept.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
That's it, Mr. Chairman, for my update.
All right. Yes.
Just a quick question. Is this a one-time or ongoing?
They've been generous with me I started asking 4 years ago. The past 4 years they've done it. Cable Bank, Pentucket Bank.
Yeah, I noticed the last year we received a lot of scholarships.
Right.
It's good.
Any other questions for the superintendent? Thank you. We have an update, admissions from Patricia Lowell.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent DeRosa, and members of the committee. You have received an update of the admissions report for 2014-15, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
They're all digesting it right now. Is there any questions or comments? Mr. Dewey?
Well, just a quick, I asked Mr. Superintendent earlier, so speaking of Haverhill, for example, last year, applications were 331 that were received. This year, there's 288. Any reason, your opinion, that there's such a difference as far as applications coming in? Is guidance, the middle school's getting a good handle on what's going on, saying, hey, don't bother if you've been out 72 times, that kind of thing?
We haven't received any feedback from the middle schools relative to that. We do track the enrollments of the incoming students, and this year's 8th grade class from all of the districts was down compared to last year by about 100 students, so we anticipated there might be a little bump, but it wasn't dramatic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you,
Mr. Tucker?
Just one question about the received applications and the accepted applications, and I know that we can't tell yet how many are actually going to show up, but Maybe we could have last year's numbers or an idea of, we received so many applications, we accepted so many applications, how many actually showed up on September 1st?
Yeah, I'd be happy to give you anything Mr. DeRosa requests, you know,
Yeah.
for the.
We provide that every October 1. You get that every October 1 count. Yep.
So we were able to say how many we accepted, how many.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is there, out of all the 5 different categories that scored on?
Excuse, I'm sorry.
How many categories are, there's 5 categories?
There's 5
1.2?
categories,
Is
yes.
there one that, or two that are really causing them to, the students to get knocked out of the running, I guess, or exception?
It really is individual. It's not, there's, yeah.
Yes.
In regards to what Ms. Lowell said, if you look at the percents, even though they received, and not all the categories, all the towns and cities, is down, the acceptance is much higher. So I think, maybe in reference to what Mr. Tui was saying, that students that are applying have a better understanding of what it's needed to get in, rather than just, I'll just apply and see what happens, even though they know maybe in their heart that they're not gonna get accepted. Because especially in Haverhill, the
67% to 82%.
yeah, yeah.
Big.
You know, there were 50, there were 50 less, around 40 less applicants, but there were 15 more that got accepted. So that's a good trend, I think. And that'll get down to where, might be a point where basically those that apply will be accepted. And that will drive the, as Mr. Mansfield likes, that'll drive the curve more asymptotic down to 0.
For the school choice, yeah.
School choice, yeah.
Yes,
And
Mr. Tucker.
Again, at Mr. Tucker's point, if I may, Mr. Chair, if I'm wrong, the accepted number on school choice, for example, going also, Mr. Mansfield said, is the direction that we all want to go. You mentioned a little while ago, because I asked you, out of these 43 that are accepted, there's a, what you said, maybe 20% range.
About 20, Patty, what do you think, Ms. Lowell, about 20%
That won't be
on
here,
choice
won't
that
show
don't
up on
attend?
choice. Anyway, so it's actually lower than 43.
Yeah, the enrollment rate last year with choice was, I think, 66%, something like, in the high 60s.
60s?
66%
The percent
actually
of accepted,
after they were
actually
accepted.
enrolled, yeah.
Yes.
And just one educated guess on why there are so many applications from Lawrence? Double last year?
I don't.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you've heard any, you hear from students.
No, because we don't really recruit or do anything in those communities, it's just those come in, so we don't.
So it could just be an enthusiastic guidance counselor.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, if I can, I would like to thank Ms. Lowell publicly and the members of the admissions committee and the guidance department, because they process a lot of applications, they're out there doing the student interviews, it's a lot of work, and we certainly appreciate that time and effort. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you. Principal, Maureen Lynch.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, and Superintendent DeRosa. This spring, we have close to 250 students participating in spring sports. It's been an interesting spring. The fields have been filled with snow, and now they're filled with water. So spring sports are off and running, but we've been having a little bit of a difficult time getting the fields properly prepared. So Mr. Tarkisian's really been working hard to make that happen for the kids. So I hear Monday it might be 75 degrees, so that should work out well. Third quarter report cards will be distributed this Friday, so we are 3/4 of the way done with the school year. Yesterday and today, the senior class advisors, Mr. Pigeon and I, met with the senior class to review expectations and events for the rest of their senior year. We spent some time reminding them to make good choices for the remainder of the school year. Some dates, senior dates. The mock crash is May 22nd. The senior talent show is May 23rd. Senior sign out and senior prom are May 27th. And graduation is May 29th at 6 o'clock. So we have a very busy week planned. Awards night for all students is planned for Wednesday, May 21st. And as of right now, our last day of school, if there's no more snowstorms, is June 18th.
June what?
June 18th.
May 28th, what night is that on?
May 29th is a Thursday.
I'm sorry, what?
Thursday.
Thursday, thank you. Any questions? Very good
Thank
job,
you.
thank you. Business manager. Kara Cosmas.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Superintendent DeRosa. Well, we have 9 months of the year gone by, and you have your third variance report. And once again, we printed it for you in color. The yellow lines are areas where we have gone over budget in separate lines, and the green lines are areas in which we have savings in the budget lines that could compensate for the overages in the yellow lines. One of the reasons, as you look at some of them, particularly in the area of the materials and supplies accounts, that's a pretty large area even in the budget where it encompasses for the academics and for the trade vocational areas, the supplies, the contracted services, and other expenses. And what happens is, as you know, we prepare a budget sometimes a year and a half in advance of when some of the materials are being used. So consequently, sometimes things will go over because the needs are greater. But there is a lot of areas where things are under because we either had different enrollment expectations, different needs, or we may have been able to have pre-bought some of the items the year before. So what you see is, particularly for those supply items, even though sometimes it may seem that there's a lot of small lines that go over budget, there are a lot more lines that have savings in them that will more than compensate at the end of the year for that. In addition, you might also see some overages in the insurance lines, but when you take the insurances as a whole, the insurances were a savings this year over budgeted versus being over budget. But it's the way this report runs that they don't all sort nicely and neatly that way. But I wanted to point those out to you, that when you look at the groupings as a whole, there are sufficient amounts of money in them to cover any of the shortfalls. You will also see a second packet that I prepared for you. We will be coming to you with a formal budget request, transfer request next month, and it says, I believe it says proposed budget transfer. And what I did was I wanted to take some of the areas in which we see some large deficits and give this information to you. We did not feel it was appropriate to ask for the transfer with you just getting it this evening in front of you, but this will bring some of the accounts more into line. And primarily what we are seeing is that a lot of our transportation budget lines were over budget this year, and again, that is because the budget was prepared pretty much last January, and the numbers that were in the budget did not reflect the numbers that happened at the end of the year. You may or may not recall that you had to do some budget transfers last June to subsidize some of the transportation accounts. So they were technically under budgeted to begin with. There are monies available in many other lines, though, that will take care of that. So I wanted to bring that to your attention and ask you if you had any questions on the variance report or the proposed budget transfer.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to see how things work. On ice melt, sand, and fertilizer, that's decreased $10,000. Does that mean that we need 10,000 more in that account, or?
No, that means that I have 10,000 in that account because we saved this year. I believe he pre-bought some things last year and did very well with that. So there will be, we expect at this point, there will be funds because I hope. The winter's been so long. I mean, I would assume that we would have bought everything that we would have needed by now.
Right.
So I anticipate there will be some money in that account that we could use to subsidize some of the other accounts.
Well, that's good, because I thought it was a rough winter, so I thought we might have.
I didn't know what to anticipate there, but I was very pleased with that as well.
Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Philly.
I'm sorry.
Karen, can you refresh my memory on salaries, telecommunications? It was budgeted for 81,485, and it looks like there was nothing that was expensed. Right? Am I looking at that correctly?
Where are you?
The telecommunication salary,
Communications.
First page.
there's a,
It says budget.
I believe the
81,845,
program was
and then it
not
says
run, Mr.
transferred out
Tui.
81,000.
Yeah, the program was not run this year.
Something else was run instead.
Well, okay, so do we take, there's another program we're covering, is the other program covering, or we're taking the 81,000 just
We're
covering
gonna be,
these items?
we're gonna be transferring to cover the other program.
What is the other, what's the other program?
It could have either been machine.
Machine tech.
Machine tech.
Was one of them.
So, Kara, why isn't it the full amount?
I just estimated, I probably did it to round the numbers. I would probably, at the end of the year, will take the full amount.
Okay, well, it's another $485.
Yeah, sometimes when I do this, I just take big numbers and round them to make it a little bit easier for visibility, but certainly I can do that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. On the English, you plan to take on $100,000?
Mr. Labella, what I found with the English is that there were people who were budgeted to be, to come out of school choice. That was what, and when those people were properly classified in school choice as they were budgeted in last year's budget, there was a savings in the English line. So they're covered under another fund, so there will be savings in that line.
Do we know that, do we budget $900,000 this year too?
No, I don't.
No,
believe
this
that.
year was budgeted based on actual based on employees moved up their steps, as well as the people that we brought back in from school choice.
Right.
All right, so not duplicating those again.
No.
Great. And you plan to take half or whatever these figures are here initially, and then come back with the remainder?
Right,
another
right.
time?
I'd like to do a preliminary transfer, and then obviously at the end of the year, we will bring one to you to clean up the rest of the stuff. But we still have 3 months left, and I don't want to use all of the funds because I want to make sure that the salary accounts as a whole at the end of the year have a positive balance under the functional code.
Yeah, because your figures on this, I think are 265.
Right, and the proposed transfer is
Everything goes as planned.
going to
or
cover
as
about
unplanned.
145.
We're gonna use it all. Good.
Any other questions, comments?
I have one more thing.
Yes.
When we came to you last month, we told you that we were putting an RFP out for a facility audit, and I wanted to update the committee on that and how that went through. On March 4th, the district issued an RFP for a facility audit. A walkthrough was conducted on March 21st. One firm participated in the walkthrough. Responses to the RFP were due April 4th, that was last Friday. KBA Architects was the only firm who sent in a response to the RFP. Their response was opened in the presence of Comptroller Jeff Collette and me. We reviewed KBA's bid response against the RFP criteria. It was determined that the firm met all the criteria and was deemed highly advantageous. We notified KBA that they were the successful respondent, and they agreed to do the facility audit for a fee of an amount not to exceed $125,000. We are requesting school committee approval to use up to $125,000 from the wastewater treatment plant account to fund the facility study. The wastewater treatment project is expected to come in under budget, I estimate, by at least $140,000 when all is said and done. So sufficient funds should be available to fully cover the cost of the study. One of the conditions established by the Department of Revenue when the fund was set up was that the funds must be fully spent within 2 to 3 years after the start of the project. So utilizing these remaining funds for this purpose will ensure that Whittier remains in compliance with that.
Makes sense.
Now, what is this audit covering?
The facility audit is a study to come in and basically audit the building. inside, outside, programmatically. They will be here for approximately 6 months, and they will study the structure, they will study the flow of the classrooms, where things are located, how it aligns to current learning standards, how it aligns to the American Disabilities Act. They will meet with members of the administration, teachers, students, the school committee, get a lot of input, and then come back, because this building is 40 years old and it has never had a major renovation. So some things need to be updated and brought forward. So they will then come back to this committee and present the results of their study, what they found, and what they recommend that should need to be done to bring the building up to a different level of standards going forward.
I'm sorry, I just,
Is this something we're required to do? Or are we just doing this because we think it's proactive?
If I can address
Go
that,
ahead.
Mr. Chairman, we're doing this because we're being proactive. The building's 40 years old. As you know, we've been doing a lot of smaller scale projects. For example, the gym after the roof was a major project.
Right.
But the gym, because of the damage from the roof, was our next project. We've done some things to the cafeteria. But it appears that the building aging as it is, we're not able to keep up with, and as you know, members of this committee, been on this committee for a while, started a chiller project about 12 to 15 years ago and have never had the money to finish the chiller project. So it's to look at all the things that Kara mentioned and see what the building needs, being 40 years old.
Basically, it's also like a feasibility study.
Yes,
Not
it's
just
the
an audit.
first step, yes.
Correct. Yes.
I just wanted to know, did you say, what was the start date of the observation period?
We anticipate them coming in to begin sometime in May. What they would like to do is come in while the students are still here before school ends. Then they'll do the bulk of their work in the trenches, looking at electrical and plumbing and boilers in the summer when it's quieter. Then they will come back and meet with teachers and see at the beginning of the school year in full session. And we expect hopefully to have it wrapped up somewhere around November and bring the results to the committee.
I just have one other question. When you were talking about transferring the funds from the wastewater project, that's not going to set off any alarms or anything?
No, and we're not asking to transfer. We're asking to just utilize that existing fund. I did check with the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and because of the way that the account was set up, there were no restrictions to it, except that the DOR did say that we had to spend the money. They didn't want it sitting there as like a sitting capital account. They wanted the money spent. We were very fortunate that we had savings from the estimated project. It seemed to make sense. This is a capital type of project to use leftover funds on this project.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, very good job. Do you have anything else?
Could we get permission to
Mr.
use the
Chairman,
fund?
Yes, sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept the bid from KBA to do a feasibility audit not to exceed the amount of $125,000.
And utilize the funds from
And utilize the funds from the wastewater.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Chairman, if I can mention, next month, when you're appointing subcommittees, if school committee members could think about who would like to sit on, I would like to establish another school building committee like we did for the roof, and ask what members of the school committee would be interested on being on the school building committee, because there needs to be input from the school committee to the architect as well. So people might want to think about that when we're getting ready to appoint subcommittees next month.
Thank you.
Okay.
Reorganization of committee. That's what
We did that, Mr. Chairman.
Review of annual agenda.
Done?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
On that, last year I mentioned the MESC, MASS conference in November. And I just thought it might be helpful for all of us and may actually save the committee some money if we had that done in June. It has been late for some years, I don't know if it's on the record now, but if we can discuss that in June, who's going to be the delegate and who's going, it would be a savings, because usually by July they ask early bird, all that stuff. If we do it in August and September, we lose money.
We can do that.
Can we put it on the annual agenda just to review and to choose delegates in June?
I don't
Yeah, I
think
mean,
that's a problem.
that's you guys,
I
whatever.
kind of requested it, I didn't see it, so.
Now we are.
requesting a guest, but we place it in the June.
Thank you. Yes.
Also, I think we have to be aware that, I think by state law, the new members are required to attend orientation. Right, Mr.?
I'm sorry, I was talking, I apologize.
Isn't it by state law?
Yes.
New members are required to attend an orientation.
Yes.
Yes.
And usually that's given at the convention.
Convention, and also I think there will be,
In-house time, don't
They
we?
do it.
there will be one here at Whittier too.
We were here at Whittier.
I
did
mine here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There will be one, I don't remember the date, but MASC called us and asked about a date for the spring at Whittier. So there will be a notice out there with dates so that it would be convenient for new members to be here, obviously to be here.
It's easier here. Oh, yeah. But we have three, right? Three?
Well, Jane did hers last year.
Oh, you did yours?
She
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Just-
This spring, you're saying?
I mean, it's always wonderful if you can go to the conference, because the conference is great, so, and then you get the benefit of both, but if you can't do that, then get your training here.
And where do we get that information about the conference and the training?
You'll
Do
start
we get that
getting
from
it.
you?
It's mailed to you from MASC. We also get it, but usually you people get it before we do.
Oh, okay, so we'll get something in the mail.
Mhm.
Plus we'll get something, we'll get.
Any other questions?
I,
Yes.
just going back when Mr. DeRosa was discussing the Eastern Bank, the, 2 scholarships, did we vote that, to accept it?
Yes.
Yes.
Did I sleep through that?
No.
Okay.
Even I remember that. Oh, here we
The
go.
Mr. Gilbert part of me that.
Alan.
Yeah.
I do apologize on that.
I'm over it.
Okay, we're all set with the review of the school committee goals. We're gonna get the paperwork
I don't
in.
remember voting that, and that.
Variance analysis. All right, appointment of subcommittees. Anybody wanna change the committee that they're on now? You can,
Are you on the committee?
Well,
I think the new members.
The new members.
New members.
Email out, maybe get a
Okay,
feel
yeah.
for what they want to do.
yeah, then we'll finalize it next meeting.
Certainly your call, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. School calendar. It's in effect.
It'll be presented next month, Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
by the principal.
And we have the honor of a superintendent evaluation coming up.
Yeah, and I'll be giving you my response to the goals next month.
And that'll be a good one.
Thank you.
What do they do in June?
Yes.
We always look forward to that.
Reports for the subcommittee. Executive has not met. Instructional personnel.
We have not met for a while, and I do not know that we need to, and I defer to the superintendent.
We're okay right now.
We're okay, so we probably will not have another meeting until fall then, is
Probably,
that
right.
correct?
Because remember, the last one was large, and we talked about the one-on-one technology, which is our biggest
Yep.
initiative right now, which is the most time-consuming.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Plant operation, member Murphy.
We're not met, I don't believe there's
We should probably meet, if we can, in May to talk about summer
Well, I was
projects.
gonna ask, when do we get that list?
Usually May.
Okay,
That's around the corner.
so do we wanna set something up before?
Harry, do you feel as if we'll have a complete summer list by the May school committee meeting, second week in May? Okay.
All right.
Do we usually do the walkthrough in May or June?
Usually your walkthrough is after that. The initial list just tells you what we're up to.
All right.
Salary negotiation, Mr. LaBelle.
We haven't met. Are we on schedule for the, Mr. Superintendent?
Sorry.
Salary negotiations?
Yes.
Met, but I believe we
We're fine.
we have your contract coming up.
Right.
We haven't gone past any timelines.
No, no.
Do we need a meeting? No,
No.
no, okay.
After my evaluation and for support staff, you will.
Yeah.
So, June
Probably June.
Or early July.
June.
June, yes,
August.
June. I forgot, yes, June.
And is anything up next year?
Next year is the last year of the collective bargaining agreements, so we will be getting requests sometime late fall from the association to enter into contract negotiations. But you have a whole, an entire school year next year.
Right.
Okay, and policy. Remember?
We have not met, but I'm not sure, do we need something? I know we were supposed to have a review in June, so should we
Right,
meet
we're
in
gonna do-
May, or can we wait till June?
If we could wait till June, because we do have some new policies that came to us from MASC as
Are-
well.
are they
You know,
minor?
we haven't, they do appear to be, but right now we're still comparing to what we hold to see what the difference
Right,
is
so
between the
next month
two.
we'll schedule for June prior to the
Yeah.
subcommittee. Okay.
I got a question.
Yes.
I received an email from the superintendent, right, in regards to the new law there's on fingerprinting.
Right.
Is the school committee members required to?
No, not, well, you don't have direct contact with
So
students,
we don't
so
need a
no.
policy on that.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm laughing is because Lisa and I went last week, and it took quite a while. It was an adventure.
It's gonna be a mess.
It is going to be.
You come back okay?
Yeah, we did, we came back fine, but it was, we were very hysterical, and it was kind of like they weren't really ready, but it's the state.
Enough said.
School building committee, wastewater.
We have in here, I believe, a
Minutes.
copy of minutes.
Yes.
And again, they're for informational purposes, they don't need to be accepted, it's just for informational purposes. You know, we met tonight, and Harry provided a great update for us tonight. We're under budget, which is always a good thing, we're ahead of schedule, which is always even a better thing. End of May to the first week of June, we feel will be 100% completion, and they will be gone, and we will be in compliance with what DEP wanted us to do, so we're kind of thrilled about that. And again, I thank the members of the wastewater subcommittee and Harry and the crew too for keeping up with all of those things.
Okay, our next meeting date is May 14th at 7 o'clock. Any new business?
Chairman,
Yes.
I wonder if, under new business, we could discuss the school committee goals and things that we might want to look forward to in the future. We passed in our, or we will pass in our forms this month and next month.
Correct.
But I was wondering if it might be nice to have a meeting to discuss these goals outside of the, outside of a regular school committee meeting, like either an hour before a regular meeting or a time that when we could discuss almost informally what our goals are and where we might want to go without, you know, the time pressure of having a meeting on.
Can we do that to a subcommittee?
You could do it full, special meeting of the committee, you could do
We
it
can do
as a
that.
subcommittee with executive, whatever you want to do.
We can do that through a special meeting.
Well, I'm just thinking of, we have these forms that we pass in, we pass them in, we accept them and approve them, and then.
We wanna talk about
and that's it.
We wanna talk about it.
It might be that we could talk about it.
Not a problem.
A little bit.
We'll put that on.
You want to do it as a discussion after you go over the results? of
After we
the
go over the
evaluation?
results, correct.
As part of the meeting, after you go over the results?
Should be a public discussion.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. Any other questions?
Well, there are, if I could just continue, there are times when school committees could have a retreat or an informal discussion, if I'm not mistaken. Time when you could caucus, let's say. I'm just wondering about how you would go about doing this.
I'd prefer everything was out public, you know,
Yeah,
transparent.
you can do a special meeting, but you can't do a caucus or a retreat that's not posted in public.
Paul, you're talking about, sorry to interrupt, but you're asking about school committee goals?
Yeah.
Yeah, though, I mean, I can only speak for Haverhill, we certainly discuss that, and together, we discuss them in an open forum in a regular scheduled meeting. That's how we do it, and I think Mr. Burns.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Absolutely.
I agree that
But that-
an open meeting is where we should set our goals.
Sure.
I'm just wondering about the time constraints of sometimes when we accept minutes to a meeting, or accept our goals, it's time to go home. And who wants to spend another 20 minutes or an hour talking about our goals?
Well, that's
So-
what we're here for.
Well, I'm hoping that we can.
That's what we'll do.
We can
Then talk
do it
about
ahead of
that.
time.
All right.
Not a problem.
That's why I just brought it up.
Yeah, suggestion, Mr. Chair, if we have the information that we fill out individually, there may be some consistencies with the group, the chair kind of sifts through that, itemizes it, maybe, and then discusses before we meet, and make sure everybody's
Pass
concerns
everything,
and
we'll
goals
pass it
are
out.
on the agenda and on a piece of paper, so, and then we discuss them.
All the information will be
Everything's
passed out.
And anything missing, we can add to that discussion. That's my recommendation.
Good point.
I've noticed that in the past, we do that, we collate it, we do it, we vote, accept it, and we move on to the next item.
Now we're gonna look at it a
Now,
little
maybe
bit.
we'll add a
Not a
little
problem.
discussion time to that.
Yeah, great idea.
Yes, Brett?
No, I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you.
We usually do that. We do get,
We
it
talked
does
about
get reviewed, and we do get all the averages and.
But we have to talk about it a little more in depth,
about
not a
little more,
problem.
I guess.
Well, why can't we do that in public session?
We can.
We can,
We do.
we can.
You do it
That's
under
what
the
it's about.
discussion part of the vote,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Yes.
I mean, set aside 20 minutes of doing that, you know? And I
We
agree
still
with you,
talk about
that
it.
everything gets rushed and
I'm not asking for a secret meeting. Don't misunderstand me.
He just wants
I'm just asking for, in the past, or in the last few years, we seem to, we get it, we collate it, we vote it down, and we move on to the next item.
but a retreat or a caucus that you were talking about, that's a
That's something
secret
different.
meeting.
In the past, over the last 20 years, we've had that. Now, things have changed, and
Yeah. The open meeting law.
All right, anything on the executive session?
No need for an executive session.
Move to
Mr.
adjourn.
Chairman.
Second.
Good. Thank you.
Gonna vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?